Welcome back to Ruby's Roundtable, where we are talking about building a brand through music, fashion, and production, and also talking to people who we are inspired by and also helping us along the way. Welcome back to another episode, and today we are talking about where we were in our artistry in music as a singer songwriter and where we are today. Let me just say this one thing that I'm still pondering on. Someone asked me not too long ago if your music was on a Pandora playlist, what artist, like celebrity right now, what artist would it come before or after? And I'm thinking, like, okay, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I still cannot answer that question just yet. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or a problem. But I'm still learning. I released Toxic, my first single, 2023 in December. And we're in 2025, so almost 2 years. And I'll say I'm still learning what my sound is. I love R&B, but I also love pop. So I'm trying to decide, do I like pop because that's just what I like to listen to in the car? It gets me going. Or do I want to make pop music? But I love R&B as well. And that has been the genre that has weaved through all of the singles that I've streamed or posted on all streaming sites so far. So I'm still trying to figure it out. And I just keep putting myself in different situations and experiencing different beats from different producers so I can really figure that out. I will say, pop makes me feel so good. It makes me want to dance. It makes me want to just get up and just be free. It really taps into that little girl in me. And I literally just see myself one day, like on stage, having a full out performance choreography number and just going crazy, honestly. But then R&B, I love my low register. I'll say that. Like I do feel like I have a good low register. So trying to find that sweet spot and really have my signature. So where I am right now, so I started in a studio recording, not performing live, and really just getting my feet wet. It took me about four different songs, or no, 3 or 4 different songs before I finally said, okay, Toxic is the one that I'll release to the public. But that was it. I didn't really go to any open mics just yet at that point. I didn't perform live or anything. I just went in the studio. I will say right before that, I performed the Star Spangled Banner back at home, and that kind of pushed me to get in the studio. But being out live, singing consistently, no, that wasn't it. But that's where we are now. I have been outside. We've been outside this year. 2025 will definitely go down as the year that we just went for it and said, you know what, we need to get in front of the people because I've quickly noticed that I don't want to just record in the studio. Like I want to get out. Like I want to sing in front of people. And then it got to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to just sing in front of people. I want to dance too. So that's where we are now, going from just recording in the studio to really putting ourselves out there. Because every time I perform live, I take away something. I take away, oh my gosh, it's clicking now when someone said, record a song that you would want to perform, or make sure the song that you record makes sense to perform. I'm hoping I'm explaining that right. But I can now tell the songs that I recorded in the studio where, oh my gosh, I said too many words in this verse and I'm out of breath live. And I now can see where I'm recording these songs and it's just like, will this be a song that the crowd will sing back to me? Will this be a song where I can really create crowd engagement and participation? So I'm thinking about all these things now, how to get in the studio, but then also make songs work for out live. I've been blessed to meet people who created live versions for me. And that has been pivotal because I don't have a band just yet. Just yet. We are manifesting it. But while I don't have a band just yet, I've learned that you can create tracks that can be built up in a way where if you're out live, it will sound bigger than just a recording. So that's just another kind of way that I'm learning to be resourceful while I'm out in a situation where I'm performing live without a band, because I know when I get a band, they're going to need to get paid for the rehearsal and for the actual performance. I understand that. Like, I'm understanding the process. And so right now I'm just kind of manifesting a group of people that I can build with, but then also that can go with me along the way. So the biggest thing I said I learned so far is definitely being consistent in using my voice, because I can tell when I haven't practiced. I can tell when I haven't been even using my voice just in the shower or around the house, just really using it full out. Like, I can tell when I'm not consistent. And I'll say I write in my journal a lot: practice, practice, practice. So I'm in the phase right now where, what does that look like? What does an actual practice look like? Is that practicing covers? Is that vocal lessons consistently? Is that practicing my songs out loud consistently? Videoing myself and also watching back the video, researching other artists that I would like to resemble or that I want to take notes from, and then trying those things out, recording myself. So in my mind, I'm trying to figure out, what is that consistency with me just using my voice? Is it writing new songs to these tracks producers are sending me and recording myself and practicing that? Just finding that groove, finding that rhythm for myself, so I can really push myself to not only stay consistent with my voice, but grow my voice, because I don't want to take steps back. We don't come too far to come too far. You cannot take steps backwards. And so if you're listening and if you're a new artist like me trying to make way, you have to find consistency using your voice, because it's an instrument, right? If you don't practice that instrument, you're going to take some steps back. So consistency. Also, consistency in content, social media, looking at what I put out over the year, over the month, over the last week, and figuring out, what do people like the best? And then how can I recreate new content like that? Or how can I rinse and repeat? How can I still put my creative ways to the test and put out more content that may be totally different, but just see if the audience likes that? So I'm pretty sure that's one thing that a lot of artists are trying to figure out is, okay, content. What does that look like? Consistency. Because some people make really good content. They have a creative direction in their mind and they know, okay, this is how we can plan this content out. But I do feel like there's other people who their life is the content. What they do on a daily basis is the content. They just put the music behind it. So do we just do all of that? The business. Ooh, the business. One thing I've learned so far is that you got to know about your business, because as you grow as an artist, there are going to be people that reach out to you, whether it's to collaborate on a song, whether it's to do a brand collaboration because of your name, image, likeness. You have to know the business side, so you are taking care of your name, image, and likeness. And so shout out to the music and business class that I took not too long ago with DJ Chuck T, because it really created a foundation of questions that I need to ask myself, need to ask in certain business transactions, and questions that I may need to pass along to someone else, just in case I'm making the right move in a situation that I may not have known if I wouldn't have taken that class. So I definitely say, if you are a new artist like myself, learning the business. I also went into the studio one day, and also your analytics, logistics, just all the things, engagement, your numbers. As an artist, he asked me, where's your songs being played the most? Are you more female, male dominated? Like, just a whole bunch of questions. And I wasn't mad at it, because I actually didn't know at that time. And it challenged me to, girl, come on now. He was just like, know it. Like, know where your music is being played. Know the statistics behind the songs that you are putting out, the releases you're putting out, the pre-saves, just all the things so you can be able to take that as market research for your next single. And so I will say that's one thing that I've learned so far is to really pay attention to those numbers. I really tried to be like, oh, I'm not going to be a numbers girl, but I can see where you want to know that because like I said, I want to be on stage and dancing and just being out in front of the public. Where is the public at that's listening to your music? Come on, girl. If we're gonna do it, we gotta do it. If we're gonna know it, then we gotta know, where to go in those moments when we really want to put together a performance and it's not just maybe in your hometown. So I definitely appreciate that advice about knowing the numbers and why you want to know the numbers. I went to a music conference not too long ago here in Charlotte. It's Your Time conference, and LaRussell was there, and he spoke about people come to him all the time about how do you tour? How do you find a live location? How do you know where to go if it's not your hometown? And he reverted back to looking at the back end of your music that you're putting out to see, where those locations are and then start creating ads with the organic content that's already doing big numbers on your social media to gain more traction in those areas that are already streaming your music. So definitely thinking about that. I definitely want to create an EP, an album, but at the same time, I'm not so unrealistic to know that I still got to put out more music. So I can see what works and people can get more aware of who I am and my sound. So I'm not trying to rush it, but at the same time, like I know where I want to go other than performing live, putting out more music. So when I do perform live or have a concert or hopefully touring one day, I'll be able to have a lot more music to put out there because sometimes I'm seeing these, shows online that I'm watching and they're like hours. So it's like we're not there yet. So we got to slow down and continue to build that catalog. Another thing, recording myself, recording my voice. Oh my gosh, I'm trying. I've got to the point now where I can lay it down like the vocals and I can also put in my ad lib so I can then send to the engineer so he or she can be able to understand before I even come in the studio the flow or where I'm trying to go with the song. One thing I'd say that I don't want to do anymore, I don't technically want to go in the studio and just start from scratch if it's not intentional for us to start from scratch. So let's say we're going to the studio and we, kumbaya and we're like, let's cook up something. To me, that's different. But if you already had tracks or beats that these producers have sent you, then I at least now want to be able to write it out and understand my flow so I'm not wasting no time.
It's your time. Get on your grind. Make it happen with all your passion. Go hit the streets. Slow feet don't need.
I've looked back at just my time in the studio and I'm like, okay, I spent 5 hours here. I spent 5 days here. I don't want to do that anymore. And I know that I needed to do that. I needed to go through that to know how I can be more efficient. So it was not wasted time, but it was enough for me to say, okay, I need to speed up my process somewhere. I don't need to go in the studio and not have anything written. I don't need to go in the studio and not even maybe have a hook because I'm wasting time when I could have done this at home. So I want to be more consistent as an artist. I want to be able to be more efficient in the studio and then also definitely be able to learn how to record myself and even mix, if we're being real honest. I definitely think it's imperative to be able to know how to do some things yourself. So in a pinch, or let's say if I get a thought or idea, like I want to be confident in knowing that I can do this myself, but then also know that I can have the resources to go in a professional studio and then make some beats. I'm definitely trying to make my beats. I ain't gonna lie to you. I be seeing Chloe Bailey on social media encouraging. That's what you call empowerment. Literally cooking up beats and looking good while doing it. Okay. Listen, if you ever find me in a situation where I done cooked up a beat and another artist is on it, just know I'm gonna be extracurricular. Extracurricular. I think that is so dope. Just watching her be in that space, it just makes me feel like, okay, girl, you can do that too. Like she makes me feel like I can do that too. And I have a background in instruments. I played the viola when I was in high school. So I'm already thinking like, okay, how can we put the viola in some beats? I have a long way to go. I have created some beats with different producers and I'll have a long way to go. But everybody started somewhere. Everybody started somewhere. My favorite song so far this year, well, I only released If Not You Who at the top of the year and then Small Town Girl. And I love them both. I love If Not You Who. I've been just playing that repeatedly. But Small Town Girl is very special to me because it's my story. And it's very like slow neo soul. Like I love that.
This is for the small town girl from the country. Who knew she'd be something, cause she knew how to turn something out of nothing. She grew up in the projects, in and out of hotels often. Yeah. But when you see her, she a motherfucking star. Ain't no motherfucking scars.
But I can't wait to see what I create next. I've been writing. I've had producers sending me so much to, experiment with. So I'm excited to just get a step closer in finding, what my sound is and really pushing myself vocally, adding different ad libs and playing with melodies. Like I'm literally learning and I have to pat myself on the back sometimes because I feel like, oh my gosh, there's so much to learn. But girl, look how far we've come. Look how far we've come. And I just kind of get excited of, well, if we're doing this year, then this has to be setting us up for something good. Meanwhile, another side of the goal of wanting to perform live is you have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there. A lot of the times that I perform live so far this year, it's me like reaching out to these people and saying, hey, like, I would like to do this, literally pitching myself. And some of it, has come my way organically, but I'll say I can see now where if I want it, I'm gonna have to go get it. And that's fine. But if you're listening to this, just know that you're going to have to create it. You're going to have to create it or you're going to have to pitch yourself and just be okay with doing that because, if not now, when? And if not you, who gonna do it? If not, especially if you don't got no team, no manager, you got to create this motion. You have to. And sometimes it's like, yeah, it's not the best, but we didn't start this to just to start it and be like, oh wow, that was great. No, we want to take it as far as we can. So I will say closed mouths don't get fed. And I'm just, practicing my pitch and keeping an eye out on what's going on in the community, where are crowds going to. So I know like, okay, next year I'm going to be there or I'm going to pitch earlier or I'm going to, make sure I get content everywhere I go so I can be able to put together a portfolio. So when I'm pitching myself to perform, you can see myself performing in different areas. So going back to the content of just trying to put your song out there in different ways, making sure that when you are going to perform live, you are getting film of that. So you can be able to use that later on if you need to revert back to, here's me performing at a basketball game. Here's me performing at the evening news, like in different settings so people can see, the growth. But then also you can see how you've evolved on stage and use it as research for how you can get better. I had a conversation with the manager of a celebrity artist here in Charlotte not too long ago. It's actually an audio box, and we just ran into each other. And some things that he told me was definitely, again, like another producer said, knowing your numbers. He also said, figure out a look, like a consistent look, and stick with that. for example, like Ice Spice and her curls. And he wasn't saying like double down on this. I asked him like what are some things that have worked with your artist, and he went back to, we looked at the numbers consistently after each drop and kind of pivoted from that. We also doubled down on a look for that person so people can see him consistently in this manner. And then he also talked about being out in the community, like literally being out in the community consistently so they can see your face. Because if you're new, social media ain't gonna cut it. I mean, it's not gonna cut it no more. So they created game plans to really get out in the community. He also talked about ads, not running ads initially, but they definitely run ads on content that is already growing organically. Heard that before. Another thing that he said was having a funnel. So on your social media, having a direct funnel where your people can go to. So if you do have a live show or if you have merch, you're not just posting on social media, you are posting it on the funnel. So that could be a website, that could be a newsletter, that could be a text message. So you can get those people directly. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of things he said, we already know. We already know. So that just shows me, girl, you have what it takes. You have what it takes. Because I think sometimes, and let me know if you agree if you're watching this, have you ever been in a situation where you're getting so much information? You are looking up so much information. You are just putting all this information in front of you, but it's like, when are you going to just take that information and run with it? And I definitely see myself in some moments like getting all this information, but it's like now I've gotten to the point where, honey, I think we it's understood. It's definitely understood what you got to do. You just got to run the play. You just got to run the play. So here we are. As I continue my music journey, I just can't wait to show y'all like how it's going, because it's going and I just can't stop. Like, I really can't stop. And I be in my head sometimes about all the things, but it's like, but why when it's moving? Even if it's slow motion better than no motion. So just keep moving. If you are a new artist out there, just keep showing up for yourself and find the consistency so you can be able to really stick with it when no one's around. Like, find your consistency. I think that's what I'm working through. And really understanding the business side, because while it's all fun and games, you are a business. You are a walking business. You are a walking brand. And so it comes to a time where everything has to revolve around that. All right. This is another episode of Ruby's Roundtable. I'll see you next time.
Your time, get on your